Good morning, everyone. This is meteorologist Shane Hinton hopping onto our social media platforms in order to update you on your forecast, not only what we're looking at for today, but also the large changeup we have in store for later this week. Want to make sure you can, in fact, hear me, so let me know in the comments. I'm monitoring Facebook Live specifically. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We're going to get started in the next couple of moments. Hi there, Marilyn in Pflugerville. Hi there, Yvonne, all the way in Ontario, Canada. Hello there, good morning. Hi there, Laura, Christine. Okay, we've got people from all over. Laura in Temple, Christine in Northwest Austin, Stacy in Round Rock. Hello, good morning. Okay, I'm gonna hop on here really quickly. It sounds like everyone can hear me, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to hop up on the screen real quickly. Hi there. Good morning, everybody. The time is currently 8:07 on your Monday. Hope you had a great weekend, enjoyed what Mother Nature has to offer, because as you can see, this is a very large contrast to what we were tracking just 24 hours ago. In fact, we're tracking widespread showers, even some isolated storms embedded in this system. This is all due to that upper level low pressure system we've been monitoring for the past couple of days. We've been letting you know about. The good news is we desperately need this rain across central Texas at the moment, especially because we are tracking excessively dry conditions west of I-35. Now, today specifically, we are going to be tracking our highest potential for rainfall accumulation east of I-35, but we will take whatever we can get. I think that's also where we could possibly see some localized flooding. I think that's going to be our main concern for today, those slick roadways with some localized flooding, especially for some low-lying areas. Taking a look at your current Doppler radar, temperatures ranging anywhere from the upper 40s like they are in Georgetown to mid 50s in Austin, currently tracking at 54 degrees. Out there in Fayette County, it's probably the warmest at 57 degrees. They're on the drier side, just a few showers out there, but that will be picking up as we go throughout the day. So this is streaming across all of our social media platforms, but I am going to continue to monitor the Facebook Live comments, so please feel free to put your questions in there. Let me know how your weekend was, what you're seeing and hearing right now. I know a few of you might be hearing some rumbles of thunder. In fact, let's take a bit of a closer look towards some of the heavier bands of rain right now. Travis County, it is starting to lighten up from west to east. You can probably hear maybe a few rumbles of thunder on the eastern edge of Travis County. If we zoom in a little bit further, there it is, just to the southwest of Elgin. You can see it right there, just a little bolt of lightning. So I've been seeing some isolated storms kind of scattered throughout these widespread showers throughout the morning. Like I said, there are no warnings in regards to severe thunderstorms, anything like that. We're not going to be concerned with a tornado threat for today. In fact, it's mainly going to be the possibility of some flooding. So an aerial flood watch was issued earlier this morning. It started at 6 o'clock and it runs until 9 o'clock this evening. That incorporates everywhere along I-35 and then out to the east. Okay. So once again, this is going to be our main potential for where we could see some flooding for localized areas. Today's forecast shows that temperatures are eventually going to climb into the upper 50s. I want to show you a little bit of a more in-depth hour-by-hour look for your rainfall. Let me pull that up for you real quickly. As you can see, I have put 100% chance for rain today. Even if you don't get the most rain, all of us are expected to get some kind of moisture. Future radar shows we want to see some clearing from west to east throughout the afternoon. I am already tracking another line of showers and maybe a storm or two embedded out in the hill country currently, which is great news. They need the rain. But I am expecting the heaviest rain still to stay out to the east. As we leap forward to around midday today, 11 o'clock, you can see those heavier downpours located out east of I-35 through the coastal plains. As we go through the afternoon, maybe a few residual showers out in the west in the hill country, but the bulk of the rain still stays east of I-35. If you are in Travis County, if you're traveling for the middle of the day, you should factor in some slick roadways and maybe some residual showers. I would factor in a little bit of extra time, not only to make it into work today, but possibly even a little bit of leftover rain as you're making your way home, especially if you're traveling out east. As we go around 7:30 to 8 o'clock in the evening, I expect conditions to start drying up as we head into the overnight hours, and that'll lead into a pretty quiet overnight period. I'm also seeing some light fog this morning, so that is reducing visibility in addition to those heavier showers. So that's why I cannot stress it enough that you will need to make sure that you factor in some extra time for your commute. Temperatures across the board today expected to remain below the average of 64 degrees. You can see it's mostly upper 50s to lower 60s at best. How much rain could we see? Well, let's take a look not only at your projected rain totals, but also the rainfall forecast for the next 7 days. Right now, we have the possibility of seeing some isolated pockets get north of 4 inches. That's going to be out in the coastal plains. As I've mentioned, this is where that flood watch is kind of incorporating. As you make your way along I-35, including Austin, we're talking anywhere from 2 to 4 inches, but mostly 2.5 to 3.5. And then out in the hill country, we could see pockets that are 3/4 of an inch to maybe 1 3/4 inches. Which, as I mentioned, is great news just due to that most updated drought monitor that we saw last week. Now, we do get a new drought monitor every Thursday, so it'll be very interesting to see how this rainfall today benefits us down the road. Stephanie, I see your question. How's the weather looking for Wednesday, Thursday? Well, I'm glad you asked because I am going to pull up. Well, but before I do, I know I'm going to have people asking me about the allergy count, so let me knock that out because that pertains to today. Cedar, mold in the low category, traces of other trees just slightly in the medium category. I think the rain today will really help to wipe out cedar from our allergen forecast. So tomorrow, expect cedar to be very low. However, mold might be a little bit more elevated because we are dealing with a lot of moisture today. Now let's look ahead to the next 3 days. This afternoon, upper 50s. Overnight tonight, it's going to still stay mild. Temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s. Tuesday, we're talking 70s. It'll be the best day of the work week, okay? But notice we have a strong change-up in store as we approach Wednesday. Not only will we be tracking the potential for another round of showers, but we will also be monitoring the possibility of some winter weather. Here in central Texas, this is going to be due to an Arctic cold front arriving later on Wednesday and fully arriving with that cooler air and the wintry precipitation overnight into Thursday. Okay, so I'm going to give you a detailed look at it, but let's go ahead and start with the headlines. What you need to know. We have that Arctic front arriving late Wednesday. That cooler air will settle in as early as Wednesday evening into the overnight period. Right now, the main concerns with wintry precipitation is going to be freezing rain and sleet. We could see some accumulation, but it's still too far out to start making accumulation forecasts, okay? I think we're going to have a much better idea tomorrow and the day after, the closer to the event. During midday today, that starts at 11 o'clock this morning, I'm going to have a look at some of the various forecast models for ice accumulation so that you can kind of get an idea of where the models are trending. But we'll take a look at that as we get into midday just because the model runs will be a little bit fresher. That's going to be the main impacts that we're going to be tracking here. Okay, so let's time it all out for you. You see that closed white circle on your screen right there sitting over the central portion of Texas? That's the low pressure system bringing rain today. Notice that we're not getting a sharp drop in temperatures. In fact, we're not getting a drop in temperatures at all with this system. It's because it's not a cold front, it's a low pressure we're dealing with, okay? And it's kind of approaching from the west and the southwest, so it's bringing in warmer air. As we leap forward into Wednesday night and Thursday, I see showers and storms developing ahead of the front, and then once the front passes through, then we're going to get that mix of cold air plus the moisture, okay? Because you can have cold air, but if there's no rain in it or there's no moisture in the air, then we're not really talking about wintry precipitation. The timing has to overlap just right for you to get that mix, okay? And the timing of it all also impacts what type we will see. So whether it's going to be freezing rain, sleet, snow. Let me break it down for you right now. The areas you're seeing in pink, right now that's expected to be more of a mix of freezing rain and sleet. You do see some flurries up near the Panhandle, up there near Lubbock. Notice that as we leap even into Thursday, some models have been trending toward the idea of there being a wintry mix that lasts throughout the morning and into the afternoon. There could be some flurries sprinkled in throughout the area, but right now we're thinking it's more likely going to be along the lines of ice. Now also, I put it in it should be in your weather headlines that we're going to be updating. This is not going to be a repeat of what we saw last February. Two completely different systems, okay? That one had multiple rounds of storms, if you will, okay? We are expecting conditions to clear, kind of like dry up as we make our way into Friday and Saturday. So I do see late Wednesday through Thursday being a bit messy, okay? If we just kind of boil it down to what it's going to be messy, not going to be a pretty day, but it dries up quickly and it's going to be cold. And I do stress cold as we make our way behind the front in the residual days. Now notice I'm not seeing any moisture on the forecast for now. There is the potential of another low pressure system developing out west, but I think that wouldn't be until maybe late Sunday, Monday. That gives us a few days to kind of dry out, get the sunshine out, and melt any ice that were to be accumulated. If we take a look at your 7-day forecast, notice that we are expecting a hard freeze Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, possibly could see a freeze on Sunday night. That's the longest trend of freezing days we've had, or freezing nights, I should say, we have had of the season so far. In fact, for our afternoon highs, this is the coldest air that we've received of the season thus far, because on Thursday, my forecast currently has it to stay at freezing in the afternoon, which, as you, I'm sure, can understand, would make for some complications out on the roadways. As we make our way into Friday, I see it drying up in regards to wintry mix or rain. However, temperatures just barely get above freezing. That could also cause some concern if we're not able to get all of that ice to melt off the area, okay? But then as we go into Saturday and Sunday, temperatures, they warm up, but I'm talking slightly. I'm still talking 40s. It's going to be cold, let's be honest. But what I want us to focus on are kind of those definite numbers. We know it's going to be, at this point, we are very strongly confident that we are getting a hard freeze for several nights in a row. So you need to go ahead and start factoring this into your plans, okay? Pets, gonna be brought indoors. Plants, sensitive plants, they need to be brought indoors. I would advise doing so on Wednesday. Keep in mind you could be dealing with some rain during the afternoon, so you might even want to bring them in Wednesday morning so you don't have to deal with going out in the rain or going out in the storms or whatnot. Because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, gonna be cold. Sunday morning, gonna be cold. So you might as well just make plans for the rest of the week to go ahead and just get a jump on it. Okay, so I am hopping on to the Facebook comments. I want to make sure we're answering any questions. I know it's kind of a mix because we're torn between talking about the storms and showers today and then also the possibility of the winter weather later this week. So I'm trying to make sure that we're appropriately talking about both because both are relevant. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Joseph makes a great point. He says he loves whenever I say it's 100% chance it's raining and then I say it's 60% chance of rain. So notice on your hourly forecast, whenever it tapers off and it says 100% chance for rain and then 60% chance, that's referring to the coverage of the area. Okay, so it's not just saying like it's raining right now in your area. It doesn't really apply like that. So sometimes when I say 60% chance for the rest of the day, it's really more referring to the coverage that could be seeing precipitation for the rest of the day. So when I say 100%, it means that 100% of the viewing area should expect to get some kind of moisture throughout the rest of the day today, if that helps break it down a little bit more. It's a bit of a confusing term. We get that all the time. Thank you so much, Joseph, for those kind words. Yeah, so Joseph's bringing up a great point about covering pipes. I would expect, and I would go ahead and tell you to plan, you're going to need to drip your pipes later this week, just because this is a long span of freezing or below freezing temperatures. Keep in mind we're still several days out, so there's still the possibility of this getting even colder with the forecast. I went with more of a blend between multiple forecast models to determine these numbers and to determine your wintry mix chance. Going ahead and putting it on your radar, I definitely foresee myself upping the chance of a wintry mix on Thursday just because of the way that forecast models have been trending. But I kept it at a reasonable 60% for now, but I certainly would not be surprised if I'm raising it, either if Hunter has it raised for our evening broadcast or if I have it raised by tomorrow morning, okay? Shelly asking on Wednesday, when will the rain come? Okay. Let's take a look. So that's a great question, Shelly. The specific timing of the systems is off between two of the main forecast models. I like to heavily utilize the European and the GFS forecast models. but there are tons that can be used. There is some discrepancy between the European and the GFS at this time. The European has it a little slower and also has it more on a rainy side and not as much as a wintry mix. So right now it depends on timing wise who you're going with. Notice that I believe this is the GFS if I'm showing now. It shows some showers could start to develop late Wednesday morning for the rain, and then as it makes its way into the overnight hours is when we can expect it to become more of a wintry precipitation situation. Okay, so I would plan, as of this time, I would plan Wednesday morning, late Wednesday morning, for the rain to start picking up. The reason what's going to happen is we're going to have the moisture that we have sitting over the area. We'll be dealing with, I believe we have our winds returning from the south on Tuesday. That's going to help move some moisture into the area from the Gulf of Mexico. And then that Arctic cold front is going to be a strong one, which means it's going to be a very strong lifting mechanism, which we need to kind of help be a catalyst for heavy showers or maybe some storms. Ultimately, it depends on how much moisture will be in the air as to whether or not how heavy those showers will be. So I would expect, just because this is a strong cold front, for there to be some significant lift with it, and that would allow us to see some showers a little bit earlier in the day. So that's why I'm going to say late morning for rain on Wednesday. Do we have any more questions? I'm also going to be hopping on, like I said, I'm going to be on KVUE midday, so I'll be hopping on the air to give you an updated look. We're going to compare multiple models because I really like to break it down on our broadcast, showing you what the models side by side are showing. So we're going to be comparing the GFS and the European model in regards to their temperatures. We're going to take an early look at some ice accumulation forecasts. It's very far out, so many of these details could change, but I want to go ahead and make you aware of them now. The thing we are most confident about is that there will be a large drop in temperatures for the back half of this week into the weekend. So go ahead and prepare for well below average temperatures to move through central Texas, but also keep in mind this is not going to be a repeat of February of last year. I can't stress that enough. I'm seeing questions about school closures. We have not yet received any information about school closures, but if we do, we will make sure to update you on air, and we will also have all that information on KVUE.com whenever we get it into our newsroom. Joseph, what about the roads? If we are going to expect ice, please talk about bridges. So it's still too early to talk about ice accumulation. As I mentioned, I'm going to show you a couple of the models during midday at 11 o'clock. However, I think there will be a pretty decent concern for ice on bridges and overpasses, elevated areas, of course, especially on Thursday, just due to the fact that our temperatures are not going to be getting above freezing. And if they do, they'll be slightly above freezing. And I'm still expecting it to be a rather cloudy day. So I think there will be a concern, and there will be some impacts on the roadways, but we'll have a more detailed look at that over the next day or so. I also plan on hopping onto Facebook Live again tomorrow as well, in order to give you an updated look to show you what you can prepare for. But right now, I need to get ready for our next cut-in on KVUE to give you an updated look at the radar and what we're currently tracking. I hope you all have a wonderful morning. Make the most out of this dreary Monday. Get some chores done inside, maybe. I'll see you all again starting at 11 o'clock on KVUE Midday. Until then, have a great day. Stay safe, stay smart. Most importantly, please stay kind. And I'll see you all again on the next one. Have a great day.